In spring 2020, the United States and the wider world were gripped by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and a movement against systemic racism catalyzed by the murder of George Floyd. Congregations across the Episcopal Church were inspired to action, taking the call to seek and serve Christ in all persons into their communities. The congregations, which are mostly white, reflected on how they were being called to action, even within the confines of the pandemic.
How can I stand by? I can't. I wouldn't be following my baptismal covenant. What's been happening over the past 4 weeks is we've been getting together as a community to come show our support for people of color, especially in today's climate against racism, and being present in front of the church.
So we thought this would be the perfect spot to witness to the wider community what we as Christians feel our call to anti-racism is.
This vigil is important for me because community is a huge part of my life. And in order for it to be a true community, we need to be honest with how our lives impact each other. It's also important because I have 2 sons, 19 and 22, and a husband of over 30 years, and they happen to be brown. I have African American, he's also Cherokee. How can I stand by? I can't. I wouldn't be following my baptismal covenant.
So how do we pull this together during a pandemic where we have to be socially distanced from each other? So some of the protocols we've taken is we all have to wear our masks. I have drawn X's on the sidewalk to make sure that everybody stays distant. And we've also capped the number of participants that are allowed to be here tonight. One of the challenges we've had, for example, tonight, was we had more people who wanted to come than we had slots allowed. But that was one of the reasons why we decided to do this as an ongoing witness during the month of July. So anybody who wanted to do this would have the opportunity to.
What I hope for it to create is awareness and discussion and opportunities for community to continue to grow, moving towards policy, moving towards more action. And what's wonderful about this is that people that are taking part in this are also taking deeper steps to their understanding about their own whiteness.
As a white Christian, one of the things that I believe that I really need to be doing is doing a lot of introspection about how white supremacy has formed me and having conversations with other white people about that. And I think the pandemic and the situation we're in now has afforded, at least in some cases, some of us the opportunity to do things like that.
I grew up in privilege. I know I did. And also being in a relationship with an African American male, I understand that disparity and the anger and the hurt that goes along with that, and the systemic racism leading up to it. It touches me deeply.
Throughout the New Testament, it talks about how we all have different gifts. And I think one of the things about the pandemic is this great pause that has happened has allowed for at least some of us to think about what could our ministry be in this. And so for some of our parishioners who are participating in this might be the first time they've decided to take a public stand on an issue like this. In other cases, some of these people have been deeply engaged in social justice work all along. But as a church, our call right now is to help people discern their gifts and call them into ministry to participate in the work of anti-racism.
As a deacon, this is my calling, to bring the outside world to the church, because it's not about a building, period.
Next time, join us for a look at Food for Thought, a ministry of Christ Episcopal Church in Westerly, Rhode Island, with Father Sunil Chandy.